Why does it feel so cold inside my heart tonight? Be my man is what she said. It's not just the wind that's moving around tonight. But quick and clean don't make it right.
Righto, we're out the bush. Ant's been locked up for 4 or 5 weeks.
Finally back together.
We've got the band back together. And Ant's got a bit of a grin on his face because we've got a little signal down here. And what we've been doing, we've been cleaning these stones off. We're on a place that's been surfaced, and it's a dog leg in the gully. That's the face of the wash down there. And then the gully goes around like that, and it goes way down there as well. And what you can see here, see this big sandstone rise here. What they've been doing, anywhere that the ground's come across the sandstone, they've cleaned it right back, and they've put all these stones out. So with their water that they've washed every time they've got a big stone. So we've been digging the stones off, and you can see the level by taking the stones off. You're probably picking up a foot and a half extra, and that's not even the bottom. See there's stone there. That's the bottom way down there. So the actual bottom, when you clean out these grooves, we might be a metre away from the bottom. There's a hairy Mary. I don't know, you can see the bugger. Anyhow, so what we're going to do, Ant's going to dig this signal. I'll try my bloody hardest to keep the camera on him. And keep, we got 100 comments or more on our last video, and 98 of them were complimentary, and 2 blokes had a pop at me for not, and fair enough too, I'm not upset. But the bloke I am upset with is Ants, because he sent me 2 of the comments of the 100 that we got. Didn't send me any of the ones that said how clever I was. Sent the 2 that said I was a big pumpkin head that didn't have any attention span. So anyhow, Ants is on it.
Happy days.
And this is ground where we pull off. This is a drain that runs along the back of that sandstone rise I was showing you. We've pulled all the overburden off, cleared all the logs off. Ant's pulled him out by the sound of that. So he's in that shallow wash. He won't be real big because this is ground that they've worked, but he's been caught in the clay when they're running him down. My heart rate's rising, but not because of whether or not it's a bit of gold, whether or not I stuff up the camera work.
Still in the hand.
So you can hear it nicely with the external speaker.
Oh, bit too close.
Me, yep.
There it is, look at it. Can you see him?
Move your coil away and I'll get in on him. We'll come out towards me.
Look at that. Can you see it?
No. Whereabouts, Ant? I can't see the bloody thing.
Look at my finger.
Oh, shit, yeah, I can see it, yeah.
There we are.
Nice. Plug him out so that...
Nice little bit of gold.
I couldn't see him through the screen. I could see him no way. That's it, look at that.
Gorgeous.
There he is, a nice little bit for Ant.
Nice little tooth.
Yeah, nice little...
Very nice.
Hold him up to the, right up to the camera, for want of a better word, Ant. That's it. See that? And we got that, you can see how water-worn he is. We got that simply by taking all the overburden off that they've already taken off once. So we're just picking over the bones. It's like bloody Christmas chicken. It's the next day and you're out on the kitchen table. There's bugger all left, but you'll squeeze a little bit out, and that's what we're doing. We squeezed one little bit out.
Happy days, we're back into it.
The boys are back in town.
That's it.
Hey, Slim Shady would say, look who's back. Back again.
And we've only been here, what, 20 minutes?
Yeah, 20 minutes.
20 minutes, so great start to the day.
Yeah, great start. We've argued once. And
first little bit.
That's great. Good on you, Ant.
Awesome.
Thumbs up, mate.
Yeah.
Righto. Just down from where we got our first one, which was only
there.
a metre away, 3 feet away. We've got another little tiny signal. It's only one step up from a hot rock. we're quite happy with ourselves because it's on the edge of their main drain, and all this ground here, they've thrown out of the drain and stacked it up because they've only been working in the centre. This is ground that they've gone through the water and they've put back out, and just there's a sound, and it's only tiny little sound, but it's enough to say that it easy could be a little bit of gold. But I don't want to take too much off because made it a little bit bigger.
Getting closer.
I reckon it's just under the sticker there. So it's right there somewhere. You can see how it'd get lifted out with a shovel and thrown to the side because it's only tiny.
Still in there.
Just grew a little bit. Sort of scraping across the sandstone now, which is a good sign. Yeah, it's out now. You'd reckon it was a great big bit, but it's in the hand. When you are detecting, I meant to say this the other day, when you are detecting, scrape your detector along the ground. You won't wear the bloody thing out. It's got a skid plate. They've all got skid plates on them, and it's only about $30 or whatever to get a new skid plate. So don't be waving it around 6 inches off the ground. Get it down flat on the ground and move it like that, and move it slowly. Give the detector a chance to say, oh shit, there's a little bit. This little one here, if you weren't detecting slow, you'll give it a little start, and if your brain's not really switched on, you're already thinking what's up there. So don't get waving around up in the air expecting to get a big bit. Scrape it around the ground, go slow, and give your own brain and the detector the chance to work it out that's a little bit. And if you don't want little gold, it'll only be 3 or 4 trips before you do want little gold.
I'm waiting for that clonk.
Yeah, me too.
There we go.
There it is. You think oh, I can see it too.
Oh yeah,
I can see.
same. Nice. Little button.
Little tiny bit of water wash gold. See? And that's what I mean. I know he's only a small, tiny bit of gold, but when you've been out 3 or 4 trips in a row, or bloody 100 trips in a row and got nothing, the day you find a little tiny bit, you'll think, well, that's a bloody good job. And that's how to go about it. Get your coil flat on the ground, scrape it along, and slow up. Don't be thinking what's over the hill all the time. Keep looking at your feet and working away looking for little bits.
That's two and a half hour.
Yeah, and all from taking a few stones off. But
Yeah.
the reason we're taking the stones off here, don't just go out the bush and start lifting stones everywhere. I've got a few on the surface here. That's why we're taking them off here.
It's not just guesswork.
No, it's not just guesswork. We know there's gold here, and then we see ground that hasn't been exposed. And the world and his wife have been in here with detectors, including me a bloody dozen times as well. So I could do with a kick up the arse, because that's 2 that I've missed, but you couldn't get them unless you did a bit of work.
Yeah.
And it's this time of year you want to do it. Like it's a cool spring day. You don't want to take it on in the middle of summer, or you'll die of bloody exhaustion.
Yeah, good
Right
job,
folks.
Ben. Well
Two
done.
up.
See you in the next one.
Good on you, Ant. Now this is Anthony beavering away here. He's throwing these stones back.
Oh, Jesus.
See the likes of that. Now that's the hardest work that Anthony's done for 5 weeks. Before that, the heaviest thing he lifted was his tea at night. But he's thrown all these stones back here, and I know this is not for everyone. You know, this is not what you'd much rather just detect around and dig signals. But we've got gold here, and we've decided to do a bit. So Anthony's doing the reverse of what the old timers did. They've taken all these stones out of their races, and they've put them up on he's sped up now because he hasn't been working anywhere near that fast.
That's so.
He's sped up to show you how good he is. But what we're aiming for is this big patch of ground that he's uncovering. And it's a fair bit. And just to the left of this tree here, just behind this tree, I got one that was nearly 1/4 of an ounce. That's what's got us keen. Not today, on another time. And I've been in here plenty of times since. There's no signals left on the open ground. So if you came in here this morning and detected around, you wouldn't find anything. But by taking off a foot and a half of stone, we're going to get down to where we hope we get a better one. We've got 2 little ones so far, and Anthony's had the idea of showing you how we're going about it, and I think it's a good idea too. A bloke messaged us once and said, how much overburden did you take off, and you should have filmed it before you started, which didn't occur to us. So this is how Anthony's working. He'll stop filming in a minute so he can have a spell and lay down on the ground. Lay down on the ground and catch his breath.
Well, it is. Well, I think it's only about 7 degrees. You know, I'm already in a t-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a cool spring day.
Yeah.
And all that stone there, that's probably a ton of stone or more. Anthony's flicked out behind him in the last bloody 5 or 10 minutes. So.
Well, don't be too kind, Glenn. It's probably taken me about 45 minutes, but...
I was pumping him up. But no, it hasn't taken him anywhere near that amount, because he stuffed around and bloody come down to see what I was doing half the time as well. But look at that. You know, the man's a machine. He's a handsome man. Look at that.
Amazing what I'll do for a bit of gold.
That's right, yeah. So that's what we're doing. And if we're lucky enough to turn up a bit of gold, all these great big quartz bloody stones and that, and all sorts of sandstone and every other stone practically you can imagine, all sorts of country rock that's been caught in this gully, and that's why it's in here in the first place. This is the trap for it. None of this stone has occurred here apart from the sandstone, which is the sandstone rises. All the rest of these stones have travelled in here. So just hold your fire for a minute, Ant, because I want to show them this big bit of quartz here. So you imagine that the strength of the water that shifted that stone around, you know, that bloody thing, I don't know, it's probably 30 kilos. So that's the strength of the water, and that's how it managed to shift the gold. Someone asked us about the water shifting the gold, and down here, there's a great big piece of sandstone, and on the back of it here, if I can get the bloody thing right over, see here on the back of it, that was sitting up in the air, and this stone here, that's come down with water and then hardened out, and that's the cement, that's the concrete. And see these little quartz stones that are in it, and these little bits of ironstone and all the other bits of stone that are stuck in there, that's the sort of ground that can carry gold, because this rock here has been the original bottom, and all these, it's a host for all these bits of ground. So they've dug it out and lifted up there, and when I rolled it over, that was still left on the back. So I've detected there's obviously no gold in that, but that's where you can pick up a bit of gold trapped in that. And that, keep an eye out for any gold or any stone that's made out of composite stones. Right out, Anthony's laying down there on the ground, he's passed out. I'll go and see what's wrong with him. But that's what we're doing today. Right, I just picked this ant up because I wanted to show you not to let the bastards bite you, and that's why our ant wears gloves, because these bloody things, they'll bite and hurt like buggery. When they do bite, if they bite me, they're more likely to die than I am, some of my fingers. But in the bush and in these heaps of stones, from now on, there's all sorts of creatures. There's centipedes and scorpions, and if you're unlucky enough, there might even be a black snake coiled up in there. So if you're going to pull the stone heaps apart, good idea to wear gloves. Like I said, my fingers, if they bite me, they're more likely to die than I am. But just that's why Ant wears the gloves, and it's a good idea. So keep your eyes peeled, because they don't want you writing to us in a month's time and saying, yeah, I was pulling this big heap of stones apart and a scorpion bit me on the end of the finger and now I'm on life support. So keep your bloody eyes open when you are pulling them apart. And
they'll give you a nice sting, that's for sure.
And if you do get bitten, grab a bit of bracken, break it and rub it in with a bit of dirt under your fingers, and it'll help a little bit. It'll help as much as sting goes, it'll help anyhow. And the juice out of the bracken will take the edge off the bite. It won't fix it, but it'll help a bit.
Cheers, Glenn.
Right, got our third signal for the day. The first two have been gold. We're hopeful this one is. I'm on a little ridge, and see all this stone pile here? All this pile of stone has been taken out, and they've stacked it up on the point, stacked it up on the high ground. And it's when you're standing up on it, that's the sandstone bottom there. You're probably 1.5 feet off the ground. I've been working along, taking the easy ground off, so I've only probably taken 8 inches off along here. And as it started to get a bit deeper,
Sweet sound of.
got a little signal there. And hopefully it'll turn into something. You can see, even though they've washed this ground, all these stones have been washed clean, but when they've been throwing the stones out, they've thrown out a bit of dirt with it. Part of that is the ground they've thrown onto, and part of that is ground that has come out of the races on the stones. And
That sounds good.
so,
Getting louder.
and it's marvellous when you start to shift these stones,
Just keep
how
going.
much ground you think that the bottom is just there, how much ground there is, you know.
It's more.
So
isn't it?
so that's,
That sounds good.
people ask us why we use the double D coils and why we don't use the mono coils. The reason we use the double D coil is they're pretty absolute. You know, the mono coil jumps around a fair bit, and I like the mono coil as much as anyone, but when you're looking for the little tiny signals, so mono wouldn't give you any stronger signal than that, but it won't give you any signal on these half signals. You know, the double D won't give you a signal on these half signals. So when you're looking for a little tiny bit in among 1,000 bloody stones and pieces of ground, I like the evenness of the double D. And if you're at home and saying, I'll kick the friggin' TV, and if you say that mono's better than double Ds or double Ds are better than monos, I don't give two hoots. That's what we use. And I just noticed in our comments people ask us why we use them, and that's why we use them. Probably because I'm old-fashioned and it's what I've generally used. But you use what suits you, what suits your hearing, what suits you, where you're going. I had a white 1700 and I had an elliptical coil on it, and it was a bloody ripper.
Okay.
But, what do you reckon? You saw it?
I reckon I saw it.
Ants reckon he saw it. And I say he probably did because it shifted.
Yep, I reckon it's going to be in that pile. Still there.
And when you, oh, there he is, Ant, look.
Yep,
There he
that's
is.
the one.
Yeah. Oh, geez, there's nothing wrong with his eyesight. Yet I won't let him drive the car coming out. There it is.
Beautiful.
And that's why I use the double D coil. And a mono would find that easy, a mono would eat that up, and so would the SDCs.
Gorgeous.
But I like the double D, and I'm not saying go out and buy a double D. I couldn't give it a hoot whether you do or not. I've got to keep saying hoot instead of the other word. Because
It just comes down to preference, doesn't it?
yeah, just what we
prefer the
use.
double Ds,
But
yeah.
so that's what we use, and we're a couple of pumpkin heads. So how the hell would we know? But that's what we use.
That's it.
Third one for the day, Ant.
That's it. Let's keep them coming, Glenn.
Right,
Well
mate.
done. Good one.
Thanks, Ant. Right, we've been away from Smoko and we're back. And we've just come into the gully, and Ant's come across the gully and got a signal here between these two stones. The only thing that frightens a bit was it was a pretty easy signal to pick up. And generally there's not too many easy signals left, but that doesn't mean to say that no one's walked over it before. So Ant's going to scratch it out and hopefully get a bit. We'll soon find out one way or the other. I'm laying out stretched on the leaves. It's a beautiful bloody day for laying around doing nothing. So it's already gone out, isn't it?
Bloody hell, yep.
That's a bad sign.
That
It's
is a very bad sign.
more likely to be a little bit of rubbish if it's... Shit, I nearly bloody got filming my toes and not filming you, mate. It's interesting ground we're in. I'll try and keep that on ants, but I'll quickly look away now. See where that race runs down around below us, how they've worked the gully and goes way up there and way up behind us. It's really likely ground. It's a real good spot to be in. It's bloody like sight better than being in watching TV locked up, but that's for sure.
That's for sure.
I'm not that much. I haven't been raised on mobile phones like all you blokes. About the only call I ever made till I was 20 was bloody grandma.
Oh, it's a bit of gold.
Oh, stand stuffed. Jibbies in all colours.
Way. Look at it.
Good on you, Ant.
Check it out, Glennie. Look at
Good
that.
man. Good man.
Happy days.
Well,
Shit a brick.
we both dismissive of it when it came out so easily. Ant's just walked in on one
Oh, I can't believe
and
that.
bloody grabbed one. Good work, Ant.
My heart sank when I got it out.
Yeah,
straight away.
yeah, so did
No
I, yeah.
way.
You know, when you were
something, bit of lead.
letting and listening to the signal didn't worry me, but when it moved like that, I thought, oh, it's been a little bit of tin or something.
Jesus.
Well, good work.
Happy days.
Well, that just goes to show you that signal was as easy as anything, wasn't it? Like it was just sitting there,
waiting
you know.
for
Was
us.
it? So they're still there, the easy ones.
That's 4 for today.
Yeah, 4, and that was a good get. Well done, Ant.
Yeah,
and see,
cheers.
that gives us. We're on the other side of where we were
Yeah,
working.
just over there.
So whenever you get a little bit, it lifts you a little bit because that's another spot that you might find a little bit. And as I said, I wasn't raised on mobile phones, so that's why some of my camera work's not as good as Ant's.
Add another one in there.
But
beautiful.
As I said, the only call I ever made till I was practically 20 was Grandma's on the couch and I sleep on the couch and I can't wake her. So we've done a good job. So we've done a good job. Well done, Ant. Give us another thumbs up.
Yes.
Ant's
very happy.
good boy.
Cheers, Glenn.
Rightio, we're having a go here. I've only just walked back from to my detector and Ant's called me back again. And when I was going back, Ant trash talked me. He said, you've got 2 each now. And then it's a race. And now I barely got back over to where I was having a go, and Ant's got a decent signal here. And I'm sitting on where he got the last little bit. So that's how close it is. So we're hoping he can drag a little bit out here. It sounds a bit better than the other one.
It does, doesn't it?
If it's gold, if it's not a 22 bullet, it'll be a nice little bid. And there's no reason why it can't be gold because we're in a gold bearing gully. And as I said, I'm sitting where Ant dug his last little bit. So
my heart is literally pounding. It sounds so good. I'm very, very excited.
yeah, oh, it's bloody great. The crowd will go up with a roar if this is gold. This is great. It's growing too. The noise is growing.
It's growing.
I'm just bloody hopeful it's not a 22, you
I
know,
know.
on the edge, but is every bloody chance it's gold. It'll make our day if it's gold, this one.
Oh, Jesus, it certainly will. Still
I
in
like the
there.
way the signal's going and it's getting in a bit deeper. And as I said, we've proven that there's detectable gold here. And on a previous occasion, I got a few of a bit of size. I won't have to tell you it is gold. The moment Ant sees it, you'll hear before I can get it out whether it's gold or not.
It's growing, Glenn.
It
it's
is.
growing.
Oh yeah, hell it is. Yeah.
I'd say I'm almost on top of it now.
And this is why you do bloody detect it. This thrill of digging the signal. This is why you detect. Doesn't matter whether you're getting on chasing coins or gold or artifacts of any relics or whatever. That thrill of not knowing what it is and then digging it out. That's what it's all about. There'll be a bit of bad language from Ant if it's a bit of lead, but
Oh, God.
the thrill he's getting in digging it is worth half the prize.
Still in there.
Is that me or you?
Sure. I'll put it up there.
Yeah. That was a bit of an artistic shot for you people at home, that one I was doing over the top of the detector.
Well, we're right in the clay now. Definitely right in there. Still can't see anything. Maybe I should make my hole a bit bigger. Oop.
Yeah, and a bit deeper. It sounds as though he's sort of down the front of it there a little bit. Make a dirty great big hole, Ant, because you'll find him again. And sort of come down the flat a little bit as well. Yeah, that's it, where you were digging out there. Dig all through there.
Just see if she's still in there.
Yep. No, he's out, he's in the dirt now. God, he's moved down the hill.
Oh yeah.
I thought Ant's face dropped in there. Run your coil around a little bit and see where he is. You must be right on him.
Right there.
Yeah, I reckon.
Oh.
Geez, my attention span's bloody shot to bits. I bloody... Good job I haven't done hard drugs. Bloody... I'll be freaking out.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Jesus. Yes, here we go. That was only yes for the signal, not yes. At least it's, you know that you can find him there, just separating the dirt.
As long as I don't drop it. We're close. We're
Yeah.
close. Oh no. Oh no.
What is it? It's not gold, I know that much.
It's not gold. It's a bloody bullet.
Oh, never mind, mate.
That's broken my heart.
Oh, never mind. Oh, well, we had a lot of fun. Just goes to show, it could have been gold. There was another signal that was here.
Could have been.
There it is. Yeah, it's the face of a broken man. That's the face of a bloke. You got 3 bits of gold since bloody breakfast.
Two.
Two.
Should have been my third.
No, should have been your third. He's got 2, I've got 2.
Nah, I'm wrapped. I mean, it's
He's
been a
had a
great
bang-
start to the day.
Bang
Start
up
and
bloody
finished.
feed. He's had a cup of coffee and bloody lounge around in the dry leaves. But that's how it hits you.
Yeah.
Oh
well.
Never mind.
On to the next one.
Yeah.
Still half a day left, so
Yeah, no worries,
still
mate.
hopeful we'll get some more.
And I've got some pink lamingtons up there as well, so
Happy days.
everything's looking up.
Cheers.